This is the Men and Dad Show, a talk show for men by men. We'll talk about responsibilities of being a man, issues of how men think, feel, perspective on politics, sports, fatherhood, and relationships.
Hey, I'm Mercedes. How you doing?
Meet Mercedes, a construction worker, a father of 4, and one of the most animated men you'll ever meet. Being politically correct is not in his nature.
Work is work there, buddy. Balls to walls, baby. Balls to walls.
On the other hand, this is Davon. He is a man of faith who have continued to serve his Christian religion and his community. As we always face trials and tribulations, Davon always faced any challenges with a smile. And as far as for me, I'm Jeff. A husband, a father, a son, a cousin, a 5'2" short motherfucker who hasn't grown since the 6th grade with a baby-faced look that still to this day gets carded buying lotto. Welcome to the Men and Dad Show.
In the mic so I can hear myself, right?
Right.
So don't judge my sound check, okay?
What's your sound check? Go ahead.
Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba.
Scooby Doo, where are you? Please,
Good.
oh please, would you be my neighbor?
You good? That's it.
Yes,
Levels are good.
sir.
All right.
Yeah, my butt level ain't good. There we go.
All right.
Get that right.
Remember, you gotta lean in so they can hear you clear.
Is that clear enough right there?
That's good. That's
All right.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Hey, how everybody
That's
doing
perfect.
out there? Welcome back to the Men and Dad Show. It's the handsome ginger Munchie right here, and my macaroon buddy right here, Jeff. Say hi to everyone, Jeff.
What's going on, everybody?
So, there's a lot of stuff to talk about on this discussion.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
So why don't we get started?
Well, first off,
Didn't you just got out of the hospital coronavirus?
why you gotta add in? Wait. Why you gotta add in the? That's not funny. This is about health. This is a serious part of the show, Jeff. You want to sit there and chuckle?
You want to be serious?
Yes, I want to be serious.
You
see this? You see this?
Okay.
Do you see this? This is a medical badge, okay? You want to make
He
jokes.
was-
He's
he
like,
was-
oh, you want to? Hey, you just got out the Corona hospital, huh? No, I did not. Okay. Jeez, still in pain.
You
Jeez.
did get upset when I told my wife, "Hey, babe, Mercedes is alive."
Yeah, how you gonna say some shit like that? Like, supposed to be positive, motherfucker.
That was positive. Like, you alive.
Hey, you alive? Oh, yeah. Nah, man, I know how you meant that.
So bad.
Yeah, you're so bad. You're the one who said it. I didn't say it.
I said I was glad you're alive.
No, not how you said it. How you said it.
How did
like,
I say
You
it?
said it like a Donald Trump way. Hey, baby. Hey, guess what? Mercedes just won. Hey, he looked out there. I don't know about next time, but hey, he's here now.
Man, I was the one that told you to go to the hospital.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're the first
Like,
person that was like, yo, you need to go to the hospital.
I know you
But
were.
that does not give you the right to crack jokes about.
Yes,
niggas,
it
man.
does. Yes, it does. You called me with a concern.
Okay, what if I would have lost my leg or some shit, nigga? Would that still would have been funny, nigga? Or would have came over here with a sock on my knee, nigga? Huh?
You had the
Nah.
bent back boomerangs.
Anyway, so
It's coming on the way on my end, so.
hey, everyone, man, at a certain age, you gotta really pay attention to your health. You know, especially with the climate we're in with this coronavirus, and you know, if you have pre-existing, you know, health
Condition.
issues,
Yep.
that can cause, you know, what I'm saying, other things to happen to you. Me myself, you know, I'm a guy that's 38, but physically I feel like I'm 28, but I do things that I should not be doing at my age. And that's what happened to me. I was, you know, at work, you know, always balls to walls, hopping off trucks, jumping down, not thinking anything of it. And then, you know, that Friday night I get home and I'm like, man, my abdomen's fucking hurting on both sides. I didn't do anything. I was just fucking unloading trucks. What the fuck? And then, you know, it progressively got worse, and I was trying to stretch it out, and it moved from my abdomen to my lower back. I thought it was sciatica. Then it moved to my leg. And you seen that when I came over. The motherfucker was like twice the size
Yeah, it was swollen. On Monday,
Yeah.
it was swollen. I was surprised you even
I had a
got chance
cankle,
to
nigga.
work out.
I had a cankle. I was like, how the fuck I get
Yeah,
a
the
cankle?
hop too. Like it
Yeah,
was leaning
so-
on one and the next. So you were in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and I was trying to, when you get older and shit, we can't be afraid of doctors, man. You can't be afraid to go to the hospital. You can't be the person of like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, this shit just gonna go away. No. You have that mindset, man, you know what I'm saying? You're taking away from your wife and your kids and your friends, because you never know what condition you might have, or you could prevent, because you go to the hospital and get it checked out, like this could have been bad. It could have been a what I thought it was a what's the word?
Hernia.
A hernia.
Yeah.
Cause every time I sneezed and coughed, it felt like somebody was stabbing me and someone was trying to protrude out like aliens, like, get out.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I don't know. And then my dumb ass, because I'm such the man that wants to provide for my family, I'm still in the thought, you know what? I could just, rest a couple days, go back to work. Try to go back to work after a day's rest.
Right.
No, I could only walk a fucking 100 feet.
Nah, you were you were in a lot of pain.
So then, I finally made the decision to go to the hospital. And
why don't we talk about before you went to the hospital? Because you gave me a call.
Yeah, I gave you a call, man. I was talking about, man, I done looked up some shit. I talked to a couple people, because you know how people do. We don't go to the doctor. We ask somebody like, hey, nigga, you ever had crabs before? And you know what I'm saying? You find a friend that might do. Like, yeah, nigga, you just need to go get this. All right, you ain't got to, because when you deal with a doctor, a lot of the fear comes from, you feel like they're mechanics. You feel like if I go to the doctor, this motherfucker gonna find something else wrong with me that I did not come in here for.
Well,
this motherfucker, he's gonna be like, well, you know what? Yeah, you have that, but there's also this. And then next thing you know, I went in there for a goddamn hernia. Now I got pancreatitis. Like, man, damn, you're just supposed to fix the other shit.
Well, that's why when you called me and I heard the concern
I ain't gonna
on
lie,
your voice.
I was a little bit emotional, because I'm a grown ass man. I'm very masculine, but when it comes to hospitals and shit,
I know.
I'm the only child. My mom went to the hospital umpteen times, umpteen different surgeries, umpteen visits to the ICUs, and that has an effect on you as a child. And you don't want to be in the hospital. And then, like I said, in the climate we're in, we got the freaking coronavirus. I don't know who's all in this fucking hospital, and I gotta get cut open and shit,
But like I told you were in such a lot.
Yeah, man.
You were in a lot of pain. That for me wise, when you start asking me, hey, do I think I have this? I was like, man, I can't confirm. One, I'm not a doctor, but you were getting more anxious, because if you start looking yourself on the symptoms, and if you Google it, then it makes it worse. So for me wise, I was just saying, hey, you have to go to a doctor or the hospital. That way they can, scan you up and see the imaging. And it was really for your health. Yes. That was coming to a point of like, this is your health. That's
but it's
important.
Just, you don't want to, as a human, and as a man, you always think, hey, I'm healthy. But that sometimes that's that false confidence you give yourself.
Yeah.
You got to go in for these things, because something that I thought could have been major, it was actually something small. Because when they got me back there and they looked at me, at first they didn't know what, because they seen that I'm telling them I have pain in my pelvis area, and then they're seeing my leg. They're looking at my right leg like, God damn, what the fuck's wrong with your right leg? Because it's swollen.
Yeah.
So
it was
what
swollen.
they had to do is they gave me some antibiotics, and then they on an IV, and then once they did that, they went in ahead and cut that open. What they found out with the ultrasound on where my pelvis was it wasn't a hernia. It was old blood that had cauterized and created a artificial blood clot in my side. And that was from when I got shot in 2007, a previous incident when I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
So, but then they also wanted to check my leg to make sure I didn't have any blood clots, because blood clots could be serious. You can't just walk around life with a blood clot.
They can amputate you.
Yeah, that's worse.
They'll
you think the Jamaicans
your...
just be saying that word with the blood clot? No, you have a blood clot. You be walking around with that, it'd be a rap. With the blood clot, man.
Yeah,
they
would cut off your leg, basically.
Yeah, or you might die. You don't know where that blood
you might
clot.
Die.
Yeah, instantly.
Yeah.
So they was checking for that, and You know, it's fucked up when you're in the hospital. They got so much privacy shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they got a specialist for everything. You got your doctor, you got your nurse, then you got, like, the ultrasound specialist, right? This nigga scanning you, and you're like, you know, it's got a 20-minute scan, and you want to kind of know what's going on. So you're trying like, hey, man, so, what those images looking like there? He's like, you know, I can't disclose that. I'm thinking about, I'm the fucking patient. Why can't you disclose that?
Yeah, because all they do is scan, and then the doctor sees it.
Yeah, but
it's
see,
a
that
whole
gives
process.
Yes, but at the same time, that gives the patient, you know, unnecessary anxiety because, you know, yes, it does.
Processes.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm talking from a human point. I understand the process, but when you're a human and you're and you're in a hospital and somebody's doing an ultrasound on you and they're looking for a blood clot, some negative type of shit, you want to know instantly, like, yo, what the fuck is up? You don't want him to, like, you know, have to go tell another nigga. No, why I gotta be a middleman about me?
At least you didn't have to go through an angiogram. That shit, they had to cut the hair of your balls. I'm like, wait, what? It's all good.
Hey, you know what? I done had a catheter in my penis, though, so that trumps whatever you're gonna say.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. I can't compete with that. Yeah, fuck that.
A whole fucking straw, nigga.
I can't compete with that.
Yeah, but you know, Lord willing, it wasn't nothing.
I'm glad.
It wasn't nothing.
I'm glad you're okay.
And
I'm glad you're alive.
Okay. I'm gonna take a rest for about a week or so to get myself back to 100%. So,
and that's a good lesson. Now, you can get yourself checked up.
Yeah, because now I decided
you got trust with a doctor.
Yes, I have a primary doctor that I vetted.
Yeah.
You know, and looked him up and looked at his pedigree and all this stuff. And now I have a primary doctor where if I have any issues or when I don't have any issues, you're like cars. And like I said, doctors they're mechanics.
Yeah.
So they got to check you up. You got to go in for a checkup. And I don't know about you, Jeff, but I am, I'm really not looking forward to that day where I get the glove hand up my butt. And I know that's coming. Hopefully by that time, they have like a CAT scan for that.
Actually, you know what? You know who has a perfect story about that? My homeboy Damien. But he has to be here and tell that story. It's hilarious. D, if you're listening, you better get your ass over here and tell that story.
I don't even understand like why they still do that. I mean, if they got all this technology, you got 5G network. You got Elon Musk making electrical cars,
X-rays.
but you still got to put a glove on and put 2 fingers up a man's butt. Like you went to college for that. Like what's your dinner talk around the dinner table?
Oh,
how's your day, honey? Oh, you know, it wasn't too bad, but Adam today kind of tightened up on me at the last moment, you know, but everything was good. You know
like, man, that's never gonna go away.
Yeah, like who says to themselves, you know, when I on career day, man, I'm gonna be a proctologist. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? I could just imagine what their textbooks look like.
Oh man,
it's a butthole. Like you shouldn't be a doctor. You just put on a glove and some lube and put it on your finger and demasculate men. Because I know men probably feel different after that shit. You know, you're sitting on the table.
they come in and they feel so used.
All be shoveled and shit. You know, don't want to look at anybody. Like, nigga, something happened to me. Yeah. What's
going on, man? What happened here?
Yeah, going home on a long drive. Got Phil Collins on and shit.
That's like that Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Fuck carrots.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's never a good feeling.
This motherfucker trying to have small talk with you. Say, hey, how's the wife and kids? Hey, why don't you just worry about what you need to do, sir? Okay.
I want to get the fuck out of here.
And make sure that lube ain't cold. Put it under some warm water. Because if it's cold, I'm going to tense up. You got to do it all over again. I think that's the reason you do that. So, hey, if you're a doctor out there and you're watching our show, or a scientist, come up with a way where they can check our butts without physically having to put a finger up our butt. Okay?
You know they probably have that technology already.
They do. They just do it for fun. So I'm telling you, it's like
for fun.
I mean, look at this. Men, like women, they have a memory. They just put their titty in this goddamn machine, and it tells them, "Hey, you got breast cancer. You don't." No. Why does it still take us some old? It's just like milking a cow or some shit. You know?
Oh man. They don't want to put the investments on it.
No, man, that's just some. That's
Then
just
give
some,
a fuck.
No, that's just some old. That's just some old Roman stuff. Out like, man, that don't need to be happening.
No, it doesn't.
But off of that topic, yes, I'm back, and I'm blessed, and yeah. So how's everything going with you, bud?
It's okay. It's a struggle sometimes because I mean, like not a lot of people know. They'll know now that I'm diabetic. So when it comes to health, it's a struggle because sometimes my sugar goes really high or it can go really low.
Now,
like,
how does that affect your mental state at times?
It affects me big time. Like you get frustrated. When you don't have control of your own body and you have to rely on a substance, it gets you on a very depressive state, and it gets you in a very frustrating state. That you can't do things like you want to.
Yeah.
So you lose a lot of confidence.
Exactly, like me. The same thing I was telling you about me. Feeling like I'm a 28-year-old, but I'm actually 38 and doing these different things. When I can't do them, it's like, oh man.
You lose a lot of confidence, and it's very frustrating because, like the best example was in April, when we started working out, and my wife got me this keto diet. So my sugar level was actually getting lower, but I was still taking my insulin. Right. And what ended up happening was when I slept, this was back to back, and it was pretty scary that I went on shock. Because my sugar was so low. You had a
seizure one time, and another time
seizure,
you just...
Both back to back. So the seizure is the sugar level was so low that your body goes into diabetic seizure. So, the first that happened, my wife called the ambulance. They got me sugar water. They injected it on me. Yeah. And what was crazy that I was sleeping, so I didn't even know anything about it. I was lucid. I thought I was dreaming. And then when you're getting in consciousness, you're just like, you're not sure what's going on. And then it happened again the next day.
That's scary, man.
So when I called my primary doctor, it just said, hey, you may have to change your short-acting and long-acting insulin. So that's when, with that change, I'm just in short-acting insulin and watching what I eat, and then keep on checking my sugar levels. So that's important. But when these things happen, it gets you in a state where you get hopeless. You get pissed off because as a man,
what you're just about to say, as a man, it's so detrimental to you because. As a man, obviously we're men and we're dads, so you have people that look up to you. You have people that that depend on you.
Right?
For you to be dad, for you to be that breadwinner or be that one they could talk to, they could play with,
Yeah.
And if you're not mentally feeling or physically feeling that way, it's like you're taking away from them at a point. So that's why it's so important to take care of your health.
Yeah, you have a lot of
health as well.
Weight. Have a lot of weight to carry as a man and as a dad. I mean, and for me wise, the transparency, I told my two oldest with Logan and Nessa, and I said, hey guys, I just want to let you know I'm not gonna hide anything from you, but I have a debilitating disease. And that's what I told them. I said, I'll do my best to keep myself strong, but I need both your help. And I wasn't bullshitting or I don't need to sugarcoat what's going on, because if you sugarcoat it and then something happens to me, then they'll be like so shocked and I can't believe it. I have to let them know this is what's part of life.
That's what they have to destroy.
It's health,
Like you, but at the same token though, they can, they'll have sympathy for you. But at the same time, sometimes they still kind of think about just themselves. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Like when I got shot back in 2007, I got shot in my waist, point blank range. And,
ouch.
I was bleeding internally, and they took me up to Harborview. They cut me open. Actually, Swedish cut me open.
Yeah.
And got the blood all out, sewed up my abdomen, and I had like 150 staples in my stomach. And,
Damn.
The worst part about it was that catheter, dude. That shit sucked. I was too high on the heroin when they put me in there, and I mean by medical heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I'm a drug user, but they shit me up with a lot of that shit.
Medical heroin?
Yeah, morphine, bro. You
Oh,
didn't know.
morphine.
Yeah, morphine. That's what it's basically a synthetic heroin.
Really?
Get you all loopy and shit. Where have you been?
No, I mean, I never thought of morphine as a medical heroin.
Yes.
So I know how it feels. When I was in a car accident, they used it on me. I said, ask for extra.
It's a synthetic drug.
Oh shit! Never knew that.
You get excited, man. Like, wow, I never did that. I'm like,
I just didn't know that.
But anyway, so I get released after about 4 or 5 days stay. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I guess they felt I was strong enough to go out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And my girl, who's my wife today, she thought I was strong enough to have fucking sex the day of me getting out.
Oh no!
And mind you, I had 150 staples in my stomach. Did this woman care? No.
She missed you. That's what.
She missed me. I know, honestly, yes, but she could have just gave me fellatio. That would have been that. Instead, I gotta go through pain and shit. I got abdomen pain. She trying to ride me, and I'm trying to do a doggy style. Maybe get too intense and a couple staples pop out. Some shit. She wasn't thinking about that. She was thinking about her vagina. She wasn't thinking about that. She was like, I want that penis in my vagina. Yeah.
That was the song.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Things you have to do as a man. Sacrifice
my
you gotta make.
goodness.
I could have just easily went to sleep, but no.
So, tell me. I mean, now that you got out of the hospital, you feel much better now. How are you feeling? And do you feel more confident where it's really important for you to watch your health and actually go into the doctor?
Well, it tells me to not, because another thing that affects your health is you're worrying, and you're over worrying things, and you make something big, something
nothing.
small. You make something big out of nothing, and you get to the point where, you got to get over that shit, man. If you don't. And you just stay in this mindset of I don't know, it'll get better. Eventually, no, that don't happen. That's make believe. You say the same thing when your check engine light come on.
Right.
Oh, it's gonna get better. That motherfucker's not gonna just automatically turn off. You have to go down to Jiffy Lube. Midas.
It's gonna get worse. Yeah.
But hey, man, there's an elephant in the room. There's the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant?
It's nothing new. I mean, a couple days ago, you had a man, a father like ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
He was killed by a police officer for no reason, over apparent $20 forgery.
What do you mean by that? Because I don't think a lot of folks know the backstory.
Well, apparently the guy was buying some food and he forged a check or did something that was like minuscule misdemeanor for real, and did not take what they did to this man. And it's a lot of shock and awe, when you're watching it. And we have to stop when we see these things. We have to stop with our. We have to not go with our emotions and rage. Because it blinds us, and we don't really actually see what's going on. Because this is a setup, I feel. Because there's a lot of other things that are coming out about this thing. Like most people didn't know that Mr. Floyd worked as a security guard at a local, right where that happened, at a local nightclub that was a restaurant during the day, and he worked as the security there, a bouncer. And that same officer that had his knee on his neck worked part-time as an off-duty officer at that same venue for a year. So they
knew each other.
They had a working relationship, sir.
They knew each other.
And that's what's like really complexing too. And another thing is, you have all these, provocateurs in these protests. there's a lot. I don't know if you've seen, but there's these undercover agents. I don't know if they're police officers, if they're guys from the academy. I don't know, but they got these guys that are disguising themselves pretty fucking well. They stand out because of the disguises. They had the one guy that was in all black with a fucking walking around with a goddamn umbrella, knocking out windows in the AutoZone in Minnesota. And if you can see, they say it's a hammer, but it wasn't a hammer. It's the same type of tactical instrument they
window
use
breaker.
that they have for them when
Right.
they need to bust somebody's window, because he didn't even have to put in no effort at all when he was banging. It was like ping, ping.
So it was
ping.
a window breaker.
And then you have the brother that looks like he's a dreadlock, wearing a pink shirt with some cargo shorts, smoking a blunt with a apparent large pizza in his hand, following the guy, acting like he has an issue with the guy, but he actually doesn't, and walks away with the guy. It just seems too weird. And then you have these guys scripted. I mean, over time, there's been accounts of this over the history of these riots and protests all the time. Even from the WTO in Seattle, they install these guys to create chaos in order for the police to justify the brutality that they're getting ready to bestow upon these protesters. They'll have a setup where they have an undercover police officer start damaging public property, and then they'll have an instance where the police is chasing this guy and he's running through the protest. Next thing you know, he gets caught, but while he's getting caught, he's probably right next to a peaceful protester, and guess what? They're gonna act like that protester was with this man.
It's part of it.
Yeah. And then a lot of people are reacting to the CNN reporter being arrested. Really look at that and look at it for face value. The hand is quicker than the eye. And if you look at that, it looked like he had a communicating relationship with the officers that are arresting him. There's a couple times where he's going to this back, like saying something, whispering, like this was planned. And the reason they would plan something like that, because it's imagery, it's media, and you're gonna believe things. And what they wanted to put out there is, why is this black anchorman getting arrested while the white CNN anchor, nothing's happening to him at all? You see the rage and the divisiveness of that.
Yeah.
And then you even have these journalists. I wouldn't even call them journalists. They're instigators. They were doing news live and having on their phone fake gunshots go off to make it seem like there was gunshots going off on the scene.
Really?
Yes.
What? I didn't know that.
So it's man, it's getting to the point, man, where there's so many things going on. I mean, at the same time, we're supposed to be at a stay-at-home thing, and it's like I don't know, man. I mean, but at the same time, history always repeats itself. Like a lot of people tell you not to watch the news, look at the newspaper, watch the media. I say fuck that.
Not
watch
anymore.
It. I know. I say fuck that. Watch that, because if you do not watch it, when something happens again, you're not going to be able to see it, because everything repeats itself. Yeah. Everything repeats itself. And the same thing that they're doing. I mean, has anybody noticed this? In Obama's, at the end of his term, how violent it was with police brutality on blacks. Does anybody remember how bad it was at the very end of his term? Ferguson,
it was
Trayvon Martin. It was very bad.
Yeah.
Now fast forward to right now, to the end of Trump's term, and look at the same thing in the past month and a half. How many race-based incidences have occurred? Quite a few. And I see patterns, and I don't know what these patterns mean, but I just see them, and I don't
seems like they're
them.
calculated.
Yeah. And then I don't know, man. It's like and then in our communities, we're taught to not want to be a police officer. Fuck that, I ain't gonna be no pig. But how are you gonna change your communities
without being part of that?
You tired of those police in your community? Mm-hmm. Go to the academy, be a cop, be a civic leader for your community. Mm-hmm. Join those city councils. Start youth government for your communities, so they have something to go towards instead of learning how to rap or doing something else, something artistic instead of something that's progressive.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's like, because with these riots, I understand people are angry, and I understand people get mad for even people having any opinion on the people rioting, because they're like, if you're mad at the rioters, you should be just as mad at what happened to the young black Mr. Floyd, which I am. But at the same time, you have to look at this. Every time this situation's done happened, and you've had riots, what's happened? Nothing. The dust settles. We're back to square one all over again.
Changes.
What is it? How's that saying go? I mean, if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity. So you have to go other routes. You have to, like I say, start being more into your community. Start city councils. Start, youth government. Start wanting to be police officers.
Right,
Start wanting to be, and stop looking at it because after segregation and everything, I feel like that was a mindset that we're trained to have, is have a rebellious outset at authority and not trying to be the authority. You feel me?
Yeah. I understand.
And it's just crazy, man. And there's a lot of black men out there that are trying to raise their kids, and they gotta give them this extra information that other men don't have to tell their kids. They don't have to tell their kids, how to act around the police. If you know what I'm saying, you have to say yes sir and no sir, and
it could be deadly.
Yeah, because any day could be that day that cop's like pissed off at something, and we gotta change it where we need more police oversight. We need to have a civilian oversight over situations where the police do things that are not of their job, that could be looked at as illegal, that as of not right. But instead, you have these unions and how their regulations is written up. It's damn near impossible to prosecute these guys, because everybody's like, this guy got arrested, but guess what? He's gonna get arrested. It's gonna go to the DA in about a couple months. The same thing's gonna happen. They're not gonna have enough evidence, even though we watched the fucker put all his weight on this man's head and neck.
Yeah.
We all watched it.
Yeah.
350 million fucking people in that world watched it, but yet and still, there's a 90% chance he's not gonna get prosecuted.
Damn.
And at the same time, they're protesting. Before they started protesting, they found out where this man lived. And they surrounded his house before the police got there. So I'm not about all that stupid shit, but if you wanted to send a message, that could have been it.
Yeah.
But at the same token, sending a message then, what would have been the outcome of that?
Yeah.
So I mean, right now they're turning into a police state right now, basically again. I mean, and it's a stark contrast from 2 weeks ago when you have these right-wing protesters, guns in hand, AR-15, spitting and yelling in these police officers' face. I want my goddamn country back! I want my NASCAR! Let me have my life! All that shit. When it comes to people come through, we shall you gotta hit them niggas with pellets and mace them and incite violence inside these protests with undercover agents that you install into this. Come on, man. It's just a game, and sometimes in order to be looked at as the good guy, you gotta have somebody to look like the bad guy, and that's from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And another thing, if you guys ever read the Machiavelli Principles, he's like one of the
Tupac?
famous, no, not Tupac, Machiavelli. from Italy, bro. From back.
Oh,
you know,
the original.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of his famous quotes was, sometimes for success you gotta appear like you're losing when you're actually winning. So
Damn.
you gotta be careful right now in the how would I say, the current
That shit is deep.
the current situation right now, because you never know what you're actually looking at.
Yeah.
And you gotta not just look at it.
It's hard to believe what really you're watching.
You gotta dissect it, and you gotta be able to diversify your mind and understand why they do the things they do. You gotta study your enemy.
There's a formula that been.
Well, you gotta study your enemy because your enemy's been studying you for all this time. And
yeah.
I mean, my community, the urban community, has such a distrust of the law enforcement. But I mean, out of all the minorities, probably blacks probably has the lowest percentage of police officers.
Yeah.
But if you look at Latinos and Italian and Irish, very large numbers, extremely high numbers. So I mean, if you want to protect your own, police your own, apply.
Yeah, be your own. Man, that was intense.
Yeah.
That was good.
Man, I really, what I'm saying, it's just one of those these days, man, where you don't know what to, what I'm saying, really think or say on it. And as you get older, you get wiser with these things. Like I said, you've seen these things. The older you get, the more you say to yourself, I've seen this before. Like,
right.
Before we started our show, I was talking to my aunt. She's in her 70s. Like, Auntie, how many times have you seen this in your lifetime? How many times you was alive when Martin Luther King got killed? You was alive when John F. K. got killed. You was alive when Medgar Evers got killed. When Malcolm X got killed. You was around all that. You was around when they had all these riots. And I mean, you've seen it.
What she's saying?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. No result at the end. You have to rebuild your own communities because you wanted to destroy it because you're angry for somebody else.
Right.
And I personally don't believe that they burnt down that AutoZone and the police precinct. I feel in my heart that was some provocateurs to make the scene look worse.
A setup.
Exactly.
Like, look what they did to us.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we can get back in a couple of days and get Divon back on here.
Yeah.
He's more tired right now. That's what he said.
I'm tired too. I'm fresh out the emergency room a day ago.
All right, man. Well, hopefully you just rest up and feel better. Hope you can heal.
Will, but
you know what I'm saying?
Most importantly, right now, this world needs to heal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot of.
We need to start having every other day. We got to look over your shoulder or look at the man in front of you and look at him as an adversary. We're humans, man.
Yeah.
We're humans. We all bleed the same color.
Yeah.
We all got the same fucking organs, man. We got to stop, and we got to stop labeling things to give them juice. Like, stop using the word privilege or white privilege, because when you're saying that, you're enabling their privilege even more. I feel, so you're basically saying to yourself, I'm subservient because they have privilege. So don't use that word, because it's basically talking bad about yourself. I personally feel.
Yeah.
But on that note, everybody have a blessed day. Think before you react. Remember, health is wealth. Always check out your body when it's telling you.
Don't Google yourself on your symptoms.
You can still do that. If it's some little shit, you can still do that. Or you might have to call home like, hey, cuz, I got this little bump somewhere. Cuz, have you ever seen one of those? Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to. No. You don't want to have to involve the doctor in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, that motherfucker was all in my side of my balls, cough. I was like, he's like, you give me more than that. I was like, oh, it's like, there you go. I like that. Yeah.
So bad. It is. All right, Men and Dad Show out.
Peace.